7th of May 2019. This is Point Blank Even for the PBE Daily Podcast. This is the morning section. Today started off slow, I have to admit. I tended to wake up at 5, but I really pushed myself last night, so it's a 7 a.m. type recording and I'm trying my best to make things happen. Woke up to things really pissing me off because somebody messed up the pump for the co-share water source where I stay at and nobody said anything. So that's going to be a whole caretaker handle this, guys get called all day. It's going to be a long one, but it's not a problem. I still have water. That counts for something. Problem is it's overflowing. Abundance of blessings are going to be a problem today. Now, I listened to something last night that I felt I should talk about this morning. It was from another podcast that I was listening to because I binge mostly on podcasts and audiobooks, right? So here's what I heard. Clout chasing. Wow. The idea of not being involved in FOMO, fear of missing out. So you need to be seen as relevant because, I watched it too, so let me say something. Like, I used to have that problem when I was younger, that being not in the loop is the most painful place to be at. And to see your pals talk about something that you haven't watched yet or you haven't discussed yet, it made you feel like you were irrelevant or not a part of the clique. And being a part of the clique was so important to me at that time. Getting older, I realized the clique doesn't mean anything. It's the impact of whatever you watch that counts. It's also why I have a hard time binging these days. Like, I literally understand why certain shows used to come out once a week, so you could have 7 days to really sink your teeth into what the plot was and why that plot was the way it was, so that by the time the next issue comes out, or the next edition comes out, or the next episode comes out, it has more impact. Weight is born from time. Understanding is born from time. Because if you're just rummaging through information, how do you get to really consume it? I used to have this thing where when I'm walking to work, I'd always have a pair of earphones on to just listen to music or listen to a podcast or listen to an album. It wasn't working in my favor because I'm consuming all this information, but am I really understanding it? Consumption is one thing, but understanding is completely another. Being bombarded with information is a bad thing. I think that's why most people suffer this whole trying to find their place in the world or trying to understand where the world is going, or why it's so much easier to tell people horrific stories and not see the light at the end of the tunnel within those stories. It's all tied together, and all these things being tied together is what makes us get set apart. And when I hear about clout chasing, my question is fame that important? I've been popular, as I'd like to say. I don't think of myself as famous. I don't think of myself as a celebrity. I think of myself as familiar. You've seen my face around. I've done a couple of things. You liked a few of those things. Some you did not like, but you're like, yeah, you're still pushing. So God bless you, God power to you. But to find that it's a thing to be found famous, so you clout chase. It's like movies I was coming across on YouTube as they're looking at movie trailers, like people who ambulance chase so that they could actually sue big companies and big corporations to make money from that. Clout chasing is like the social media version of that. It's like somebody does something silly for the sole purpose of being seen as hilarious. Like, there's some people who I do not think they're clout chasers because they're genuinely funny or they genuinely have a perspective that actually gives interesting take to it. Like, there's one Instagram account I love called I Love Zoe, or his name is Zoe. Zoe is he's a character from Wild 'N Out. He sometimes reviews TV shows, and me and some friends of mine always share on Instagram DM the different clips he puts up, because sometimes he finds a way to take like a video clip of a kid talking and then he makes it look like he's having a phone conversation with the kid, and it's the funniest thing you'll ever see. Another guy I have to say is his name escapes me, but he's a Nigerian character, but the way he does like ad-libbing of video clips is the funniest thing. And those are not clout chasers, those are actual creators. I give them props for what they're doing because they can see the residual effect of what they create. But clout chasers to me are the guys who would put a firecracker up there behind and turn it on knowing full well it's going to burn them. Or a person who, because he saw somebody put a light flare on his face, they do that. Like, the one that really pissed me off the most was that I'd see guys pour like a flammable liquid on their bellies and then light themselves up. for the purpose of likes. One dangerous statement was do it for the gram. I really don't understand how that thing became a thing. And the best thing I can give as far as my take on all this is there's no fun once you get up there. It's work then. If you really want to be seen as somebody who's clout worthy or clout sensible, do something worth getting the clout for. I never try to be a part of a wave. Whenever I see a wave happening, I try to distance myself from what the wave potentially could be. It's been how I do things forever. I don't think I'm ever going to change that anytime soon, because even my releases, my publications, I don't do them because I think the next Avengers movie is coming out, so I have to be right there with it in pocket. I'm not chasing them. They already played their part. They inspired me to want to do comic books in the first place. Their job is done. It's up to me to make an actual footprint in what is being created. I'd much rather be late with great stuff than be early with terrible stuff. I say that differently, but I'm trying to be a civil human being this time. Consider this. Everything that you would like to have as far as fame, notoriety, celebrity, are residual effects you should receive probably when later in life. Then you should be able to give talks. Then you should be able to make an impact on people's lives by actually speaking on it. But to chase clout takes away time from stuff you're supposed to be doing, making great, impactful material for people to enjoy. And when I say material, I mean this. If you're an accountant, do the math. Don't worry about being seen as the guy who actually put the math together, being seen as the most amazing math guy ever. You're looking to be given a high five before you actually do the job that is worthy of a high five. Take the time to learn it. Take the time to learn your place in how the game is played. Take your time to learn how everything should flow in your entire existence. Because what are we doing looking so aggressively to be seen as worthy of more than a couple number of likes? And what are those likes supposed to be? Is it so important for us to have this knock or high of everything we enjoy? Like, I'm not gonna lie, the number of likes I got on Instagram when I put up the idea of me putting up a podcast, I loved that. I kind of fed on it, and that hit was really good. But also, I'd like to now make sure that I do the work and I do something impressive enough for you guys to actually click back onto and keep listening to. And I'm not gonna use this platform to be a hater or anything, but I'm just gonna be respectfully touching on things I find concerning. Clout chasing is just one of those things, man, and I don't get it. I know I did it when I was younger, and when I realized why I needed to stop, it made sense. To always be in the loop of the hottest parties or the hottest places or the hottest products, it's one thing, but the practicality is very, very different. It's clout that makes most products that I've seen being sold online become the hottest thing out there. And it's a great business model, but it's not one that is actually durable. And I think that's what Apple is suffering from. You've made it so that if you don't have this product, nobody really feels like they're in the click. But then comes this whole element of, okay, now does it make phone calls? Does it send texts? Does it play music? Does it have WhatsApp? That's it. Why do I need another device? Why do you keep making me have to buy a new device later? I actually had a phone a couple of years back. This phone, literally on the day I bought it, the battery died. Like on cue. And I only knew that because I still had a backup of the conversation I had with the guy who sold it to me. And when I went back to the conversation, I looked at the date, and I kid you not, exact same day a year after the phone's battery died. So it means it was planned obsolescence, and that's a whole other rabbit hole altogether. Planned obsolescence is something I'll talk about later, but this is what I know about it. Planned obsolescence is something that was decided after, I think, the Second World War, where they take products which could last such a long time and decide to give them an exact date of their dying. The first test they did was on light bulbs. The light bulb was supposed to go for over 3 years plus, but then they decided we're going to make these things die after every year, so we keep on selling light bulbs. That kept on going. It now touches on cars, it touches on printers, it touches on inks, it touches on everything that we consume, even the fabrics that are created. We could have fabrics that could last very, very long time, but I'm certain there's a time that they came up with a fabric that would not last past a certain number of wears. And that's a situation that is really abused, because fear of missing out makes you really want to have a certain product in your life. As a result of wanting that product in your life, You will do anything and everything to be seen as down with the click. And I respect whoever finds a way to find that balance without actually breaking the bank or breaking their backs. Props to you. But for everybody else, find your pocket and be your pocket. There's nothing wrong with being unique. There's nothing wrong having your own voice. There's nothing wrong with any of these things. Consider that and just take my 2 cents. It's not supposed to be shoved down your throat aggressively. It's just me trying to be as helpful as I can, because sometimes you need an opinion that's outside of the box. And I'm the guy who's kind of outside the box on a lot of things. So that was my morning edition. I hope you enjoyed what you heard from me, and I hope you found something, even if it's just a speck of information that actually made you get interested to go online and just Google stuff. Because the cool thing is nowadays, the whole world is in your hands. That device in your pocket literally can give you any and everything of information that you will ever require. So as of me, in the immortal words of Eddie Griffin, think it ain't illegal yet, but they're working on it. Have a lovely morning. I'm going to talk to you guys tonight. Enjoy yourselves. God bless. Peace out.
The podcast you just heard was made using Anchor. Ever thought about making your own podcast? Anchor makes it really easy for anyone to get started. It's a one-stop shop for recording, hosting, and distributing podcasts. Best of all, it's 100% free. Sign up now at anchor.fm/new. That's anchor.fm/new to get started.